If you are looking for a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, and massive approval, here are the steps I want you to follow right now. Step number one, you have to determine how much funding you need. See, the whole thing here is that you probably have a cargo van business and you're looking for, let's say, a business line of credit. But how much do you need, boss? Do you need 25,000, 50,000, 100,000? You have to be very clear about the amount of line of credit that you need. This is very important. You have to understand. When we talk about a cargo van business line of credit, this is totally different from a traditional cargo van business loan, right? Because if you have a cargo van business line of credit, you only pay interest on the amount you use. So you might want to consider taking out a large enough business line of credit to make sure that you are able to take care of your business expenses. Now, the whole thing here is that a lot of folks are asking questions about what about the EIN only part? Well, the EIN only part means that you have to structure the application in such a way that the lender is actually looking at your cargo van business and not your personal affairs, because the whole thing is you are trying to avoid having your social security number, right? You don't want the lender to look at your social, your personal credit score, and what have you. So this is really important. The first thing is determine how much funding you need. And the whole thing is it's not just about coming up with a number. You have to justify why you need that number. Why do you need 25 grand for your cargo van business? Why do you need 50 grand as a business line of credit? Okay, so you have to have a clear explanation about that. And the thing is that the good thing about a cargo van business line of credit is that you can actually be approved for a line that goes from 20,000 to $250,000. And if you are lucky, let's say if you have a fleet of cargo vans, you might actually be approved for up to $1 million in terms of your business line of credit. Okay, so be clear about the amount that you need. Be clear about the funding, about the why you need that amount. So it's not just about, hey, listen, I need $1 million as a business line of credit for my cargo van. Okay, why do you need that? Is it because you're trying to pursue specific loads? Is it because of your geography? Have you seen new opportunities in the industry that you like to seize? So you got to have a clear explanation about why you need a specific amount. And the things I really want you to think also about is that if the lender asks you, why now? Why this amount now? You have to talk about the, let's say, trends in the sector, for example. You can talk about, hey, listen, I live in North Carolina, and right now we have seen a boom in the industry. Like, you have to actually cite whatever reasons you can cite to explain why you need that much in business line of credit. The second thing you have to do here is you need to determine your eligibility for funding. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. I really appreciate having you here. Take some notes if you want to. So we're having a convo about how to get a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast. So when we talk about eligibility for funding, the very first thing you want to do here is you need to actually take care of your EIN. So son, daughter, I'm talking to you right now. If you are trying to get a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, you got to have a cargo van business in the first place, right? That's logical. In other words, you cannot be a sole proprietorship. No, you got to be a real business, okay? And you got to have an EIN, so an employer identification number. So you got to talk to the IRS, and they have to give you your EIN. So when we talk about applying with EIN only, we're saying that you are structuring the application in such a way that the lender is looking at your business as a whole and not looking at your personal finances. Okay, that's the whole thing. Because when you apply for a business line of credit or a business loan for your cargo van with EIN only, you're telling the lender, hey, listen, please forget about my social security number, forget about my personal credit score, my FICO score, and I want you to look at my paydesk score, my business credit score. It's important. So besides your EIN, you got to pay attention to your credit history, to your business credit history. So if you have a business credit history for your paydesk, for your cargo van business, your paydesk score, your IntelliScore, your Equifax, your Experian Business Score. Those are important. Your business revenue. How much is your cargo van business generating in revenue right now on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a biannual basis, or even annually? Okay, how long have you been in business? And what is the size of your collateral? In other words, in case you have to post collateral, what kind of property are you willing to put up? Because sometimes the lender might want you to have a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, with collateral. In other words, you're not pledging a personal guarantee, but you're pledging a business guarantee, a business assets. This is very important. Step number 3. I want you to learn about available lenders. See, the whole thing here is that, and by the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a convo about how to get a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast. Okay, so you gotta learn about available lenders. And when we talk about getting a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, no personal guarantee, you have a lot of players, a lot of lenders are actually occupying this space right now. And the thing is that, see, people always tell you, hey, if you want to get a business line of credit for your cargo van, you got to talk to a traditional bank. Yeah, but you can also talk to your credit union. You have a lot of credit unions that actually offer equipment financing, and part of their equipment financing arrangements, they could actually allow you to have a business line of credit for your cargo van business. This is really important. So besides banks and credit unions, I want you to also think about online lenders. I want you to think about loan marketplaces. I want you to think about alternative lenders. So, Dad, Mom, if you want to get a cargo van business line of credit, please, I want you to look beyond your bank. I want you to look beyond your credit union. I want you to look for online lenders. For example, Bluevine. Bluevine is an online lender. They're a fintech. They actually will take care of you. If you're looking for a cargo van business line of credit, they will approve you for up to $250,000. They are really good, actually. Bluevine is really good, and I want you to pursue that route. Don't you actually put all your eggs in the same basket? Not at all. It's all about believing in yourself and knowing that you have a lot of players that you can talk to. When we talk about loan marketplaces, you have a player such as SmartBiz. You have Lendio. Those are great marketplaces that can actually help you get a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, no personal guarantee, and massive approval. When I talk about massive approval, I'm talking about you getting like more than 20 grand. I want you to get 50 grand, 100 grand. You want to get some real ass money. Okay. And the last category is alternative lenders. Those are kind of cool too. For example, you have Kalamata Group, you have Balboa Capital. Balboa Capital provides financing for cargo van businesses. They also do business lines of credit. Fantastic. Step number 4. I really want you to really consider cost and fees. See, the whole thing here is that if you're looking for a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval, you have to understand that there are some costs and fees that are associated with this type of financing. Okay, here we're not speaking about equipment financing, the traditional equipment financing that you know about. We're speaking about strictly a line of credit. Okay, so there are fees. For example, the interest rates. The interest rate, you want to pay attention to that interest rate. Make sure, read the paperwork, read the fine prints. Make sure that you are really comfortable with the interest rate they're charging you. Usually the rate goes from 10% to all the way to 90%. Yeah, you have some crazy high APRs. You have crazy high interest rate in some cases. So be very careful here. Then you also have a draw fee. You might have a draw fee depending on the lender. So as the name suggests, a draw fee is often incurred anytime your cargo van business draws money from the line of credit. And the fees is usually 1 to 2% of the amount withdrawn. Sometimes they might waive the fee for you, but hey, listen, it's part of the catalog of fees. And also sometimes you might have to pay a payment processing fee. So if you choose to have your money sent via wire transfer, for example, You will likely need to pay a processing fee, and this amount ranges from $5 to $35, but wire transfers help you get your money faster. This is why we advise our clients, our business clients, and we are advising you who are listening to us right now. If you are trying to get a business, if you're trying to get a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast, you want to preferably, ideally, get it at the same bank where you're currently banking at the same credit union where you're currently banking at. That way there are no sort of wire transfer fees because everything happens inside the institution. Okay. In some cases, you might have late fees. So missing your payment due date is a big mistake. So this fee depends on your lender, but will likely grow higher the longer it takes you to actually pay. And you might also have an early termination fee. So your business line of credit for your cargo van will likely have a fixed end date. So if you decide to end your loan or your line of credit before that date, you may have to pay a small percentage of the line amount as an early termination fee. So it really depends on the lender. Step number 5, you need to gather your documentation. Okay. So I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to get a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast. See, the whole thing here is that if you're trying to get your cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, you have to really pay attention to the documents you submit to the lender. You have to make sure that you have your EIN, of course, but make sure that you have a stronger set of financial statements. So your cargo van must actually provide all information that the lender needs to make sure that your business is actually legit. Remember, it's very complicated, even impossible in our experience. For the last 35 years, we have never seen this. If you are a sole proprietorship, it's very complicated to get this cargo van business line of credit with EIN only. You got to be a business. You got to be an LLC. You got to be an S corporation. You got to be a C corporation. You have to be something. You have to be a corporation. You have to be an LP, whatever it is, but you have to be a corporation. Okay. So once you're a corporation, you're going to have to show your company's, your cargo van business's actual financial statements, but also projected financial statements. So you got to show those two categories. So when we talk about financial statements, you know the 4 financial statements. We're speaking about your statement of owner's equity, your balance sheet, your cargo van business's balance sheet, your income statement, but also your cash flow statements. See, the whole thing here is that even if you are a solopreneur, even if you are an independent contractor, you're by yourself, even if you're a single member LLC, you'll still need to prepare financial statements. Okay. And so in addition to the financial statements, don't forget to have a business plan for your cargo van. Like you got to have a strategy to actually go after, let's say, loads. This is really important. A lot of people like, you can't be in business and have no idea of where you're going to. See, a business plan is a navigational tool for your cargo van business. Okay. Literally. This is the business plan is telling you where to go to. So think about that business plan, and also think about your business licenses, your articles of incorporation or organization, and your personal and business bank statements, as well as your business tax returns. Number 6, you need to apply for your cargo van business line of credit. So you've done all the work, right? You've done the research. You've dug a lot of paperwork. You've dug a lot of info. So you have a lot of information here. You know exactly the best route to get your cargo van business line of credit. Now it's all about execution, really. If you think about it, it's all about execution. And the whole thing here is that you have to have a clear idea of where you're going. So the thing is that depending on the lender that you choose, you're going to have a specific strategy. So basically, if you go for a traditional lender, for example, a bank such as Chase, Wells Fargo, Fifth Third, BMO, or TD Bank, they'll give you instructions. And usually, if you want to get a cargo van business line of credit, they will want you to actually apply at a branch. In some cases, if the amount is really high, they will want to see a copy of it's called the asset sheet. In other words, they want to have some kind of recap about how many vehicles you have, the value of the vehicle, and whatnot. So really it really depends on the lender. The same applies for a business. The same applies for a credit union. So if you apply for a cargo van business line of credit, EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast at a bank or a credit union, they will ask you to actually show up at the branch and have a conversation with the loan rep before they finalize everything. Okay, this is just standard procedure. It's not about you, like they don't trust you or whatever. No, it's just standard procedure. And if you apply online, if you apply with an online lender such as Bluevine, or you apply with an alternative lender such as Balboa Capital, they will want you to actually send everything via a secure website, so via online. Okay, because those players, they don't have a physical brick and mortar branches. They don't have a physical constellation of brick and mortar branches. Okay, so approval times for online lenders are much faster. They are much faster than a traditional bank or credit union. I just want to let you know. And let me give you a few pro tips here. How does an unsecured business line of credit really works? Well, it's kind of similar to a credit card. Nothing complicated. They actually approve you for a line of credit, and your cargo van business will tap into that line of credit and will actually get money. And so basically, depending on the agreements you have with the lender, sometimes they might have a draw period and a repayment period. So during the draw period, you actually draw cash from the cargo van business line of credit, and during the repayment period, you just repay whatever you have tapped into. One thing I want to say here is that there is some kind of slight difference between a secured and unsecured line of credit for your cargo van business. And in some cases, you might have to actually be approved for a secured line of credit. I mean, you could try everything. I mean, the best is to get an unsecured line of credit, but things happen. You might go for something, you might shoot for the stars, and actually you might shoot for the moon and land in the stars. Okay. And so in case you actually if you actually get approved for a secured cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, no personal guarantee, what will happen here is that you will have a higher line amount because it is secured. But if you have an unsecured, you will have a lower amount. The only thing is that for an unsecured line of credit, you don't pledge any collateral. Okay, it's really important also while you're trying to apply for a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, to also look at your personal credit report, because not a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of independent owner operators, independent contractors are able to apply for a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only. So you need to actually think, you need to have a plan B, and your plan B will have to be applied with your personal credit. So that means what? It means you have to check your personal FICO score to make sure everything is accurate. Okay, and don't forget about your financial history also, because it's important. The lender wants to make sure that you are clean also personally in terms of your monetary situation. Okay, because you can't be broke, because they're not going to finance you if they know you're a broke ass, independent contractor and trying to actually get a business line of credit. No, your business must actually show some potential. So make sure that you are cleaning up your financial history first before you actually engage in the whole process. And also, I said this before, but please make sure that you maintain a business bank account, not a personal bank account. You got to have a business bank account. Okay, to sort of to aid in legitimizing your business, your cargo van business. Because the whole thing is that lenders look at a diversity of factors before approving you. And people believe that your credit score is the only one. No, your credit score, business or personal, is the only one. No, it's not. It's not the only criterion. There are a lot of criteria that the lender will look at before approving you. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about how to get a cargo van business line of credit with EIN only, no personal guarantee, massive approval real fast. Number one, determine how much funding you need. Number two, I want you to think about your eligibility for funding. Number three, learn more about available lenders for your cargo van business line of credit. Number four, consider cost and fees. Number five, you want to gather your documentation. Number six, apply for your line of credit. Thank you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.